Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Bridgerton Season 4, Part 1. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sure, I'm just leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Bridgerton Season 4, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, this was already one of my most anticipated shows of the year, and it was coming out in January. We get Part 2 in February. I love this world. If you've been around on this channel for long enough, you know the saying, Zeke loves love, and I don't care what kind of love it is, and Bridgerton shows all of it, right? Like, it's just one of those shows that leaves me smiling for the most part. It leaves me kicking my feet when I see these two, whichever couple that we're dealing with, flirting, and they always manage to make it feel fresh and to get you to buy in on the couple that they are going to focus on. And case in point here with Season 4. Benedict, I like the character of Benedict. I really like the arc that he went on in Season 3. And when we were going to focus on him and it wasn't going to be who he was with in Season 3, I was like, oh man, I just don't know if I'm really feeling that. But when we go back to the previous season of Bridgerton, unless you've read the books, I feel like you've been in my shoes all the way through. Going from Season 1 to Season 2. Oh, we're not going to follow Daphne and the Duke anymore? I don't know if I'm going to be really into it. Sure enough, Anthony season, to me, is still the best season out of all of them so far. Now, we'll see how Season 4 ends, but, as of right now, with everything that I've seen, nothing really compares to Season 2. I really did enjoy Anthony's season. Now, here we are in Season 3. Oh, we're going to follow Colin and Penelope. Man, don't get me wrong, I like the characters. Colin's cool, Penelope's awesome, but don't know if I necessarily want them to be the leads. I think they're good side characters, Again, another very, very solid season. Now, here we are. We're going to focus on Benedict. Now, me personally, I want to get to Eloise this season because Eloise is my favorite character out of all of them. I often say to my group of friends, if we were living in this world, Eloise would be the one I would be pursuing. I would be trying to wed her. But, to her mom's point, once you get over the fear of talking to her because, she is so, strong-minded up here and she knows what she wants. Again, it's one of the reasons why I really like her. I just think she's a really cool character. But I can understand why some people would be intimidated by her. But, yeah, I really do enjoy the character quite a bit. I would like to see a little bit more from her in the second half. And I do think we are going to give a little bit more focus to her. This season so much has been really evolved around Benedict and Sophie and even Lady Bridgerton for that matter. Everything that we've done here in the first half, and Francesca had a pretty good arc. I hope to continue to see her arc going through in Part 2, especially with Part 2 that we're going to have more tie-ins with, the end of Season 3 for that matter. Because, Francesca is a character, in Season 3, she was like the main focus for Lady Bridgerton, right? But we didn't really spend a lot of time with her in Season 3 because, again, it was about Penelope, right? So out of all the Bridgertons, you could say she's the one that you're least attached to that isn't one of the younger kids. Here in this season, I really feel like we've done a really good job of me wanting to care about her more. I was really all in on her journey of learning what is a climax, right? I forgot what they called it in there, but all the conversations that she would have, when she first gets done with her husband, goes, well, it helps if you get pregnant if you were to, I forgot what they call it, but again, if you were to climax, right? And she's like, what do you mean? What is that? Has the conversation with Penelope. Is a little awkward because she feels embarrassed that she doesn't know it already. And it's a good callback to Season 1 with Daphne, and they even call it back here in this when she does have her conversation with her mom about it, and her mom doesn't know how to explain it, and then Penelope is finally able to fully explain it for her. Again, that whole journey, and then even when her and her husband are starting to be, she's being more, because, they're usually to themselves, right? From Season 3 and to Season 4, they stick to themselves. That's just a relationship. No relationship is the same. That's what the mom, Lady Bridgerton, had to learn in Season 3. But now she is starting to be, more all over him, more PDA, wanting to have those desires a little bit more. And when they are being intimate, she's being a little bit more performative. He's like, this isn't you. You don't need to do that. And that heart-to-heart that they had, again, I just thought it was very endearing. And, you know, a good little twist, a little bit of a sizzle for you to tune in for part 2 is when the sister does come into play because, you know, season 3, mom telling her, look, you know, love's going to hit you and, you know, you're going to, like, lose your breath. You're not going to know how to talk. And, you know, we see that with the sister. And then the sister pulls up and now she's like, oh, it looks like you've seen a ghost. When, you know, her and her husband are, like, really starting to build up a connection. It's, again, it's going to be a really interesting triangle to see as we move forward. If the sister is interested or not, really, really curious to see how that is. Again, they really developed Francesca good enough for me to really want to follow her a little bit more. When it comes to Eloise, though, you know, she's just been kind of hanging out in the background, playing Nintendo, if you will, or reading a book in this world, right? And, you know, she's having the back and forth with her younger sister, who's almost of age, but not quite there yet. And her sister's just wanting to bond with her. Yeah, I don't remember what the sister's name is, but she just want to have conversations. You know, she has her interests, and Eloise just keeps dismissing her. And dismissing her and dismissing her. You know, it's one of the things we love about her, right? But again, in episode 4, when they have that full-blown confrontation, when she's like, oh, please don't talk about it anymore, because that's just not an interest to Eloise. But this is like, look, do you only care about yourself? Like, I really thought you didn't like me, but I really think you just care about yourself, and that's it. Storms off, and Eloise actually has to process that. And again, I think that's going to be a really interesting arc to see in part 2. The Queen, you know, the Queen's one of my favorite characters as well. So is Lady Danbury. They had the only scene in this whole first half. I'm sure in the next half I'll cry a good bit in that part 2. But here in part 1, episode 2, towards the end, was the only time that I cried throughout this whole entire arc, not arch. Because, you know, Lady Danbury wants to leave. She wants to go travel. She wants to do all these things. She feels like she's missed out on life, right? So she doesn't want to do another season. While the Queen's like, no, you're my best friend. You are my greatest friend. No, I'm not going to let you leave. But, you know, in her own demanding ways, they have a little scuffle. Danbury leaves. The Queen refuses to let the chessboard go because the game is not done. Again, I don't know why that got me so much, but I just thought that was the sweetest thing ever. I'm mad at this girl, but god damn it, we did not finish our game. So no, don't you dare clean this chessboard up. No, you're not going to play for her until she is back sitting and we can make up. We are not going to play this game. I guess the hand, I forgot his name. I should know his name because I also enjoy him too, especially from the Queen Charlotte show. Goes over to talk to Lady Danbury, like, look, just apologize. She's the Queen. Look, we don't know how much longer the Queen has. If we lose the Queen, you know, all that she's going to be, that she's all going to have. So that's where she's coming from. So please just go apologize to her because we all know she's not going to apologize. Goes over, apologizes, and it looks like she is about to play her game. She goes, no, you're not going to play your game. We're not finished with our talking. Why do you want to leave me? Why do you want to leave me? Having their back and forth, she's about to storm off because the Queen's like, you're my servant, because she's mad at her. And then as she's leaving, and you can tell, I'm actually getting emotional thinking about it now, and Danbury is going to go away, and the Queen apologizes. Oh man, again, I'm getting emotional again just thinking about it. And she's going, I'm so sorry. I don't know when my husband's going to go. You're all going to have my head. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. It really touched me. It touched me because I really love that friendship, seeing it all the way from season 1, from Queen Charlotte, everything. It just really, oh man, it got me right there. It was probably my favorite scene in the whole entire show. I also really enjoy everything that we're doing with Lady Bridgerton as well, being more comfortable being in a relationship. She doesn't want it to be quite public yet, but she wants to be exclusive with him, and she's ready to throw down and clown, right? And you know, that whole sequence in episode 4, like, look, I want to have evening tea, and her main maid of honor being like, not her maid of honor, but her maid, right? Her right hand. Oh, I'm gonna get all the servants out. Your kids are gonna go over to Francesca's for dinner. We're gonna make sure this is all gonna work out, because throughout the show you've seen her catch him, you know, having a little bit of PDA here and there, sneaking around a little touch, and she's all for it. She's like, you go ahead, Lady Bridgerton, you go live your life. They even have their little conversation, and then Lady Bridgerton trying to look all cute for him. She comes up, and then she just takes full control, saying, take off your clothes. I was like, oh man, this again, it was really, really good stuff. All the way through. All the side plots I really, really enjoyed. They're just really, really cute, and just really relatable storylines that you can get along with, right? We've all been in LOEs where we've all been so much about us and about like, oh, I don't really want to do this, but you have a friend or a family member who's really into something, and you just fall and you get slapped in the face with, don't be selfish. Oh man, let me go ahead and process that. Francesca, who's wanting to have a child. If you are someone who wants kids, you can easily relate to that. Why can't I do it? Oh, I need to do this? I don't think I've ever experienced that. Well, what can I do? And that heart-to-heart that she's having with her husband, and it feels like a breakthrough to them. Oh, and then here comes an old flame to come into play. Again, something, even if you take the baby portion out of it, a hurdle that you have with your relationship, you feel like you passed that hurdle, and then here comes that old flame to come back into play. I feel like in some ways we can all relate to that in some way, shape, or form. Lady Bridgerton losing her husband. Not sure if it's time to move on or not. Even if you haven't experienced that, you can somewhat understand it and you want to cheer it on. Just all the Danbury wanting to leave and going and not being able to because her friend really, really needs her. The Queen not wanting to let go because she might lose everything, and this is all that we have left. But speaking of the Featheringtons, their little storyline, I think that we only got one episode. It was the Maid Wars episode, where, their head maid was like, look, I have an opportunity for bigger pay. And it turns out to be the main ops of Sophie, or her family's just picking up all these different people like Infinity Stones, because I think it was episode 3 where he goes, oh, you're really going to show up here after you took my butler? Yeah, he's great, isn't he? Like, damn, what a boss move. But I hate you because you're so mean. But anyway, she gets the offer, hey, can you match it? I don't want to leave, but I do need the money. So can you match it? After consideration, if I raise you, then I got to raise everyone else, and I don't have the funds for that. You can have my old dresses, though, and then 5 minutes later, oh, I bought me some new dresses. I'll be pissed off, too. Like, that whole storyline. And now I'm sure that maid will come back to the Feathering house in some way, shape, or form. I don't feel like we need to spend a lot of time there. But again, a relatable scenario that I feel like we can all be with. Because if you take the income out of it, it's just 2 friends or 2 family members who had a disagreement, and now they're going their separate ways. Now into, I think that is all for the subplots. Penelope, she's kind of in the background because, she had her big moment in season 3. It's nice seeing her and Colin being really deeply in love. I mean, I think it was episode 2 or episode 3 where they're basically doing it in the carriage. I'm like, man, good for them, man. What a healthy relationship that y'all just feed off of each other that much. Like, you're newlyweds, but damn, like, even in the car, that's crazy. But, her whole arc is that she has to deal with, like, saying the barrier with the Queen. Like, look, just let me write. Let me do my thing. Because she goes, I'm literally porn for the Queen. Like, all she wants to do is, like, know all the deeds and all the drama that's going on in the gossip. I just feel like I'm porn for her. So that's pretty, again, out of all the storylines, that's probably the one, like, I'm least attached to. That one I can't fully relate to as well. But, for the character, I'm into it and I'm happy for her. And I also really like overall with the structure of the show that it doesn't feel the same, because how many more times can we do, here's another ball, here's another ball, here's another ball. We got a ball in episode 1. That's the only ball that we got. While the other 3 seasons we had, every confrontation happen at one of the different balls that was happening, right? Here, with Benedict being injured and they're being cooped up in this house, and with Sophie being a maid, and we're basically doing Cinderella in a lot of ways. Instead of a shoe, it's a glove. Instead of she has an evil stepmother, but obviously she's going to be royalty in some way, shape, or form that gets brought out. It's going to come down to that necklace. I know that necklace is going to prove that she is royalty and that she can marry Benedict and she doesn't have to be a mistress. But yeah, building up that relationship too. Again, Sophie is another type of girl that, I would be really interested in as well, who's really smart. She's going to say, no, you're wrong. No, you shouldn't do this. Like the way that she would just go, I could just do it, and how she just cannot stand still whatsoever. That whole build-up was really nice as well. And again, I really did like the characters quite a bit. When we got to episode 4 and they meet on that stairway and they start making out and really going at it, I'm like, hell yeah. But man, once Benedict says, Why won't you be my mistress? Like, dude, now I'm turned off. Like, not even in the show, I'm turned off by you. And she just walks away. She feels disgusted, as she should. She goes out to hang out at the tavern, and now we will see what happens next. So yeah, overall, again, I really did enjoy part 1 quite a bit. Again, not my favorite season so far. It very well could be. I will say I enjoyed this first half more than I did season 3 first half. Now, season 3 was their first time doing the split, so they were trying to figure it out. So they have a better hold here in season 4. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this could get into second place easily here. And if part 2 is really, really strong, it could overtake Anthony's season of season 2 as my favorite. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Bridgerton part 1. It was a little bit of a recap as well too. I was recapping a lot of things too, but again, I really did enjoy a lot of the scenes that we did here. Very minor problems here and there, but yeah, overall really enjoyable stuff. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of this season or first half of the season. Leave a like if you made it this far in the review. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give you. Also, squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.